Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time encountering equations, I suggest you go to my previous video, which is an introduction to equations, and then move along to watch this video. So this video just involves very simple equations with fractions. So the first thing I want to do is I want you to look at if I had, for example, a half, and I said to you, what must I multiply a half by to get to 1? You would look at 1 over 2 and you would multiply by its inverse, which is 2 over 1. If I had 2 over 3 and I want to basically get to an answer of 1, the inverse of 2 over 3 would be 3 over 2. So you're basically multiplying by its inverse. So in this particular lesson, we are going to be looking at some similar to that. So for example, number 1, we have x over 2 equal to 5. So x over 2 is the same as 1x over 2. And so I'm going to rewrite what we have here. We have x over 2 equal to 5. So if I wanted to get rid of the fraction on the left-hand side, I will multiply by its inverse, which is 2 over 1. And therefore, I will multiply the right-hand side by 2 over 1. And that would cancel out. And on the left-hand side, I would be left with x is equal to 5 times 2, and 5 times 2 is 10. Now you can test your answer. You can take your answer and go back to the beginning and say 10 divided by 2 will give me 5. And therefore, you know your answer is correct. Right, let's have a look at number 2. Number 2 is 2x over 3 equal to negative 4. So here we have 2x over 3 equal to negative 4. I'm rewriting it. And we're going to look at our fraction on the left-hand side. Now, in order to get rid of 2 over 3, I'm going to multiply by its inverse. And its inverse is 3 over 2. Whatever you do to the left-hand side, you've got to do to the right-hand side, and that's 3 over 2. So here we're going to cancel the 2 and the 2, and 3 goes into 3 ones and ones, and on the left-hand side, I'm left with x, and on the right-hand side, I have negative 4 times 3, which is negative 12 over 2. Which just gives you x equal to negative 6. Or you could have gone straight to the answer and just worked it out as negative 6. Okay, let's move on and look at number 3. Okay, number 3, we have x plus 5 over 3 equal to negative 1. Now, we're going to look at, now here we have a fraction of 3 underneath. Now, in order to get rid of 3, we're going to multiply by its inverse. So that would be times 3 over 1. Whatever you do to the left-hand side, you've got to do to the right-hand side, times 3 over 1. So the 3 and the 3 would cancel out. And here you are left with x plus 5 equal to negative 3. Right, now we're basically solving for x. So we need to look at the fact that we have plus 5 here. And in order to get rid of my 5 on the left-hand side, the inverse of plus 5 is minus 5. So you minus 5 on the left-hand side to get rid of it, because 5 minus 5 will give me 0. So you need to minus 5 on the left-hand side. So we are going to have x equal to negative 3 minus 5, and therefore x is equal to negative 8. And then you can go back and sub in 8 and to see if you do actually end up with negative 1 when you substitute your negative 8 in. And you can test it. Okay, let's do number 4. Number 4 is 1/5 times 4 minus 3x equal to -1. Okay, so we have a fraction here of 1/5. The quickest and the easiest way is to multiply the left-hand side by 5/1 and therefore multiply the right-hand side by 5/1. And this 5 will go into 5 ones and ones. And we are left with 1 times 4 minus 3x, which is just 4 minus 3x equal to, and now we've got -1 times 5, which will give me -5. Right, now at this point, we need to isolate our x, so basically leave your x on the left-hand side, and we have a number here which is 4, and 4 is positive. So to get rid of 4, we need to minus 4 on the left-hand side, therefore minus 4 on the right-hand side. Whatever you do to the left-hand side, you've got to do to the right-hand side. So on the left-hand side, 4 minus 4 is 0. So we're left with -3x equal to -5 minus 4. And now we have -3x equal to -9. Right, now we need to work out what x is. So we're going to divide by -3 on the left-hand side and therefore divide by -3 on the right-hand side. A negative divided by negative will give me a positive. 3 divided by 3 will give me 1x, which is x is equal to, a negative divided by negative will give me a positive, and 9 divided by 3 would give me 3. And so therefore my answer is equal to 3. One more, number 5. Right, looking at number 5, we have 1/4 times 1 plus 2x equal to -2. So here we're going to look at what is the inverse of 1/4. So it's going to be 4/1 times 4/1 times 4/1. So the 4 and the 4 divides into one another, basically cancelling it out, and we are left with 1 plus 2x equal to -8, because it's -2 times 4, which will give you -8. Now we have a +1 on the left-hand side, which we need to move, and because it's +1, we're going to -1 on the left-hand side to get rid of the 1. Therefore, we're going to -1 on the right-hand side. So on the left-hand side, we are left with 1 minus 1, which gives me 0, plus the 2x, so that's going to be 2x, equal to -8 minus 1. And here we have 2x equal to -9. Now what do? We divide both sides by 2, because we want to work out what x is. So 2 divided by 2 will give me 1x equal to -9/2. Okay, now in my next video, I'm going to do more complicated sums based on fractional equations. So this is like your introduction to the fractions. I hope you found this quite useful, and please like and subscribe and follow me on my next video.